No fuss or fighter.
I finally get it. I always met people who know every single player on some football team or the forward of a professional basketball team, and I was always awed by their depth of their knowledge of the sport that they love. I, for one, have never had that, and I could not understand the love of watching a sport until I started playing and watching StarCraft. Now I finally get it. I freaking love StarCraft. Now I finally get it. I freaking love StarCraft. Now I finally get it.
Frank, you couldn't hear me because I had my mic muted there, but I was telling you that I messed up that entire thing, and I had my stream on, so there was like this huge echoing effect the entire time that you were talking. And then I explained for 15 seconds, and my mic was muted. So that's how we're going to start episode 6.
Day.
Best show ever.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Esports Canada TV, the catch-all show for everything esports in Canada and around the world. I am your host, at Quinn of the Net on Twitter. You can follow me, and I am joined by my two trusty co-hosts, as well as a very special friend tonight, who I will introduce afterwards. Oh, I've screwed up his Twitter, and I'll fix that. Nick and Frank, how are you guys this fine evening?
Great. Great. How are you doing, Nick?
I am back. I am not sick anymore, and I am really happy to be here once again to talk about esports and all that good stuff.
Perfect. So good. How was your week, John? I noticed that you were doing some costuming over the week. Was that right, or is that an old pic?
No, those are old photos, Frank, if you knew anything about my life or cared in the least. No, my best friend got married in August, and so we had a... the night before his wedding, we all got together, because this was the first time like all of our friends had been together in a while. And we went to my friend's house, and his mom ran the theater department at our local high school for around 30 years, and so she has a costume room in her basement that's just like 30 years of every musical play imaginable costume.
The old tickle trunk. Eh?
Yeah, like a tickle basement, basically. And so like it was always a kind of thing whenever we were in high school or after whenever we were drinking, we would go on and just like someone would go downstairs to the costume room and come back up wearing something ridiculous like Aladdin or something for the musical. But this night we all just said screw it, and every single person there was probably like 20 of us, put on a costume from various musicals, and we reenacted a play in the backyard. Slightly inebriated. And that was the night before his wedding, and it was amazing. And we've been waiting like a month and a half for those pictures, so thank you to Shannon Mitchell for finally delivering those.
Oh, wonderful.
But my weekend was equally as crazy, because I was moving to a new apartment.
What is this, the John show? Did we even ask that?
This is about his life? No. John, tell me what you ate for breakfast.
I toast, Nick.
Okay.
BSG.Toaster.
BSG. Why would you have anything else?
You asked, and I just wanted to tell you. Screw you guys. Well, everyone probably notices, everyone that watches the show, probably notices a different background because I'm actually streaming it from my office, which is very close to my new place, and I don't have internet yet at my new apartment, so I had to do it from my office here at Informative Computer Solutions at informativecomputersolutions.com. The cheapest of all of the plugs.
What a plug.
Oh, this guy over here.
Let me do up his title first, and then we can introduce him.
I'm pointing in the right direction.
Supposedly I screwed up his Twitter, so we gotta
notify
fix that.
everyone that he is the Terran. So other than Clutch, now we've had a real Terran on the show. So get some Terran insights here.
Are you saying Clutch isn't a real Terran?
No, but he's not like a main. Like of our production team, Tony's like here all the time. So it to say that this is somebody who's not just here fleeting. He's like here all the time. So we definitely give the Terrans love too. That's an awesome title. There you go.
I can't squeeze it over.
How was your Nick? What did you do? Esports related. Don't tell me about moving because that's just for bad.
I didn't move anywhere, but I dressed up as Ryu on the weekend. Went to a party.
Yeah, what was that for? Was that a Halloween? Like
no, it was just someone's birthday.
Didn't he say to dress up medieval? He was Thor and you were Ryu.
No, this wasn't his birthday. This was another girl's birthday, and it was like comic book, video game theme. And once we got there, we turned out like she set up this like little zone over there with health bars and the KO sign, and it was just too good to be true. We had to take a photo. Marvel vs. Capcom, Thor versus Ryu.
I should probably find that photo and give it to John right now, but that was pretty epic. I'm surprised. I actually was really confused because I thought it was for Sandy's birthday, and I knew he said dress up as medieval, so I'm like, I guess Thor could maybe fit into the category, but I was like, why did you dress up as a Street Fighter character? That makes no sense.
I just don't know about Ryu's in comics,
right? your time errors are all messed up.
Did you guys want some time alone, or?
John, we've been trying to kick you off the show for so long. You have no idea.
Oh man, Frank, when it was just you and I last weekend, it was perfect. But welcome back, Nick. We're glad to have you here, and as well, we are glad to have our main production guy for Esports Canada, Tony Tran, joining us. Lancelot. Tony, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem. Our pleasure. Tony basically begged us. He's been sending me money, pictures,
very much.
Whatnot.
I got those pictures too.
Begging for the last 6 episodes, like, guys, please have me on. Like, I don't really know anything about electronic sports, but just have me on. So I'm just like, all right, Tony, like, please stop calling me crying. But Tony does all the production for our stream as well as for Sticky Flames. He's very involved in those tournaments as well, and he was involved this weekend a bit with WCG Canada. Were you not, Tony?
I was for a bit, then I had to peace out for personal things.
You did do a lot of the organizing, though, right? You were like the front man, getting everybody into their positions and stuff.
Yeah, we were just getting admins for the tournaments, setting them up so that like everyone knew when to show up and what to do.
Yep. so I actually got to watch a little bit of the WCG. So that's the World Cyber Games Canada, which just happened. It ended yesterday, right? And I got to watch the final 3 set matches, right? So there's actually quite a few pretty cool stories that came out of that. One thing that I actually wanted to pitch to the group is I noticed that Combat X was playing, and he's doing pretty well. He 2-0'd a lot of his way up there until he actually lost to Hendrilisk in the round of 8. But I noticed that he did beat a Protoss 2-0, and I was wondering, remember when he was on our show, he said his Protoss was unbeatable? Did he do that build? Does anybody know? I would like to know what that build is, because he was all intriguing and stuff. Or did he dare to show his hand this early, or is he saving it for like a bigger tournament or something?
Not all the games were streamed, right? So
yeah,
I mean, was his game streamed? Because now I really want to watch that.
I don't know where the VODs might be, if there are any, but
they'd be on WCG Canada's Twitch channel, which I believe is twitch.tv/WCG Canada, or WCG Canada _FR for the French version. So they might have different games, but I imagine they use the same games.
It's probably hard to find, though. But that'd be really cool to see. That secret Protoss technique of his.
Yeah, if they did show any of Combat's games, I doubt that they were that one PvP, and then the chances are even more slim that he used his ultimate instructor build.
Ultimate weapon.
That
Yeah,
he's
and I
gonna win
also
MLG
took
with.
that Rise made it to the round of 8. Good guy Rise. We had him on last week's show on Monday, but made it pretty far. Ultimately losing out to Tubby the Fat, so that made for a semi-final between Tubby and Hendrilisk on one end. And I popped that game, and some interesting plays coming out of that one. It was really enjoyable because I felt like Hendrilisk wasn't just doing stock builds. It wasn't like typical stuff. Like for his fourth game to win 3-1, he actually did a Nidus tunnel into the main, and then at the third, and it was pretty cool because when he caught Tubby with that, Tubby was like, "Oh man, I shouldn't have metagamed you." He's like, "I saw you do that against Combat, and I thought for sure you wouldn't do it against me," so he wasn't looking for it, and then he totally just owned him. Like he completely. It was like so one-sided. Nidus came up, all of Tubby's base just went down. It really well done. He was doing his infestor drops. Nick, I know that you said you saw that at NASL, right? He was doing infestor drops. Tried that, not to the same effect. I think he might have lost that game that he did them, but he was just doing all these unique things. It wasn't going too typical from what I saw. Doing some early 6 pool one of the games. It was interesting stuff.
Did you help?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
I have nothing to say.
Oh,
I was
good.
just trying to say
It was
I
filler.
thought Tony would say something, but Tony's not saying anything, and I can't see his video, so I have no idea if he's going to say anything.
I don't even know Tony's there.
Were you? Did you help out in the back end at all, Frank?
No, so I have 2 children, and I'm on call all the time. I wanted to help out so bad, but like whenever I would have a moment of peace, I would come online and I offered to mod a little bit. And shout out to our friend Perplexed who modded the whole thing almost single-handed. They recruited some help near the end to take like a 45-minute break, but he did all the modding. I was supposed to be like an off mod, but I just couldn't find the time to do it. I really wished I could. But watching the games was such a pleasure. John, your Sting was featured.
So good.
One of the casters, I heard him actually say, "I love that intro, so epic." So, props. If anybody out there doesn't know, John actually does the sting for Esports Canada. Does the stings for a few of the branches of esports stuff. So, yeah, just give some love to John for that one.
Yeah, a simple no would have sufficed.
It's too much hate today. It's too much hate.
Informative computer solutions.
Thanks, Nick.
No problem.
It's the name to know. Tony, you were also helping out with another tournament, I believe it was last weekend, the Untouchables.
The League of Legends tournament that happened, I believe it was 2 weekends ago on September 22nd. It was at this Untouchable stores in Mississauga. They're usually a hobby store. They sell like trading cards and all that jazz. But they decided to hold an Untouchables tournament, or a League of Legends tournament, and it was pretty live. Pretty live.
Nice. Is that something they're going to be doing again?
Well, they're planning on holding a StarCraft 2 tournament, which is slated to happen on October 27th, 2012, starting at 10 a.m. Hopefully it's just as successful, and they're really happy with the League of Legends tournament. They're like, oh, we should keep doing this, guys.
Yeah. It looked good when I was watching on stream. You and Perplexed were doing the casting, and I already told you guys did a wonderful job. And it looked like there was a good showing. There was lots of people there. It looked like you got a healthy dose of esports fandom. And I don't know if, John, you can show... I put the link in Skype, but...
yeah, I was just about to pop it up. There are a lot of nerds in this picture. My good God.
So there were 8 teams that showed up to this League of Legends tournament.
Nice.
And so that's basically 40 people. And then you have me and Lucas in the corner just basically running the production. And we actually didn't have that much room. I had like maybe 2 meters square. So.
Did the players bring, everyone brought their own equipment like that?
Every player brought their own laptop or computer, PCs. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what I like to see, man. Like local businesses, like creating these events where people can come in and just play games and just also get their name out there. It's really cool.
It's a really nice venue. It's just if you look at it, it's just a room with tables, right?
Mm.
But like the way they set up the network, it feels like a real LAN party, you know? Like
Nice.
back in the days, they used LAN parties like you bring your tower, then you bring your like CRT monitor. But these days, it seems like everyone just brings the laptop, you know, a really
Yeah.
strong laptop. I can play League of Legends or StarCraft too.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a StarCraft 2 tournament coming up. It says Cup 1, so I'm assuming it's the first of maybe many. At the
Mhm.
Untouchable StarCraft Cup 1, it's on October 27th, so still some time to get in on that. Entry, it's $10 to get in, but first prize gets $100. You can see it there on stream. John so delightfully put up. Second place gets $60, third gets $25, fourth gets $15. And this looks like a really good opportunity. If you guys are in the area, is that in Mississauga? Is that right?
It's in
I don't
Mississauga.
really see a location here. Actually, it's maybe at the bottom. Yeah, so 377 Burnenthorpe Road, Mississauga, Ontario. So if you guys are in that area, or if you can get out to that area, maybe register for this, try your hand, meet some other people who are into the game, and just get involved with this stuff. It's always good to meet other people with similar interests. So
I
give it a
guess
shot.
I should say that like even though they're hosting just a tournament, like it's essentially a LAN party. Like the tournament happens, but what do you do after you lose out, right? You just stick
Right.
around and have fun.
Yeah.
Play around. We'll play some. I know. I was trying to get an ARAM going, but everyone was just too depressed after they lost. So
Oh, yeah.
No, that's good. I mean, the League of Legends tournament that I was a part of the end of the summer, it kind of sucked because it wasn't bring your own computer. It was we have 10 computers set up, and they had 12 teams, and so it was just it was brutal. It took all day, and
Yeah,
it
you're
was
funneled
just people were
through
just
that.
sitting around, right,
oh
Mhm.
man,
waiting for the next game.
we had 8 teams, all right, and each team had their own computers. Even then, it took forever to run. It took us 8 hours to
Yeah.
finish it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
So I can't imagine what like 12 teams sharing one station would be like.
Oh, it's the worst.
So the general feeling, Tony, the feeling in the air, people were happy and willing to go back.
Oh, they were pumped. It was also great that like every time I said free stuff, guys, they went insane and like I threw like the riot
did you give
bottles. I gave them the riot bottles. Like I threw out riot bottles, also
Nice.
riot wristbands, and they just went insane for that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
It was the similar stuff to what we gave away at the LOL
At the Barcraft,
Barcraft.
yeah.
Oh, wicked! Yeah, so that's some really good gear. That's Riot hooked us up with some pretty cool stuff.
The winning team actually for that League of Legends is Lynn and Friends, and one of the guys came all the way from Whitby.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, just to
For
win this
esports,
tournament.
man.
Now the thing
Esports,
is, I've seen him play before. He played at the Anime North tournament, where there was Team Toronto, which had Whitest Asian. He's one of the best AD carries.
Wait. Are you describing a person, or is that his?
No, that's his screen name.
Okay.
He's Whitest Asian. Okay, he's one of like the strongest AD carries I've seen. He's just great mechanics.
Yeah.
And another team was Kilai Chi, I believe. Just a very strong Israel and Varus player. So they always like came in third and it's like, this is my first time winning, guys. It's so worth it.
Awesome. Well, that's good. I'm glad that they got out there. I'm glad that they made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
posted the link to the Untouchables Facebook page in the chat as well. It's facebook.com/Untouchables Sports and Gaming. So you can find more information on the previous League of Legends tournament as well as the upcoming StarCraft 2 Cup on October 27th. So definitely register for that.
Support
I
your
wish there were
local
StarCraft
esports.
tournaments where I live, but I have to make them, and then I feel bad when I win them.
Because you
Was right from the
hosted
beginning.
bronzers, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
won a lot.
I do want to go back before we jump ahead to the World Cyber Games because we didn't actually talk about the conclusion of the entire thing, who won it all, and I'm sure everybody knows, but I'd like to talk about it if you wouldn't mind. I don't know if you want to put up the brackets, but ultimately, our boy Hendrellis took it all, went all the way. So in the semifinals, it was him versus Tubby. He won that 3-1, and then he went against the winner between. I used to have it here. Just a second. It was M. Kenjin and
Kenjin?
Sorry,
Kenjin?
McKenjin, yeah,
Yeah.
versus Believe, Pulse Believe. and McKengen actually won 3-2. So it was Zerg versus Zerg final in the end. Hendrellis versus McKengen, and Henry took it convincingly 3-0. It was really strong play. Like he looked like he was just another level. And I did notice that Scarlett was watching the games. She was there as an observer. So, like, she was chatting and stuff. So she was. Who knows? Maybe he's getting some coaches from the best player in North America, and that's what catapulted him to this point. But
I think we all saw at NASL that Scarlett and Hendrellis were practicing a ton of games in between Scarlett's like semis and the finals on the B stage. She was just calling up Hendrellis, and they were just going game after game. And I think they are like, pretty strong practice partners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
what better like two high levels work together. It's just being able to discuss that strategy after each game, watching each other for mistakes, and how like making those tweaks, right? It's
and I mean with Hendrellis with those like infestor drops and things. I mean he's obviously not your normal player. He's definitely going to throw some wacky stuff at you. So that's a really good practice partner to have.
If I can say something, if I can,
Tony.
No,
but DDE would also participate in this tournament. Now, I watched Hendrellis and DDE go at it in multiple tournaments. The most prominent one was the Anime North tournament when they had the StarCraft 2 tournament.
Right.
Hendrellis faced off against DDE, and DDE had to go. I had no idea.
Like just had to drop and not play the games.
Apparently he had to drop.
Oh.
I've never actually seen the two play like a real game. I remember at Anime North I helped cast that tournament, and they just wanted to play off race versus each other. Never wanted to do main race.
Mm.
I'm also just looking at the brackets. I noticed that our boy Ender Sword was playing. Made it to the round of, is it 16 at this point? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the round of 16. Made it there. Lost to M. Kenjin though, second place. Second place ending person. So good on Ender. So that's cool. Yeah, congratulations to everybody who obviously they played their heart out. So it's really cool to see these names. Hyper Desi was up there, made it to round of 16. So it's really awesome to see just the board of Canadian players and to see them competing and doing well. And wish them all the best in future tournaments, man. This should be good. So what's the future? So now that this is done, WCG, what happens next?
Well, I believe there's that finals tournament for Ontario at the Eden Center.
That is correct. So it's a Central Regional Finals, and it's going to be at the Eden Center from, it says October 19th to the 21st.
Okay, so not too far away from now.
Not too far away. Actually, a lot of esports events coming up. We have a LAN coming up, don't we, on the 20th, I believe? I think there's a LAN.
That hasn't been confirmed yet, so.
Oh, okay.
That's not.
Oh,
saying
Nick, you're spilling the beans. What are you doing? Let's go to the Eden Center, though, Nick. We're going to go to the WCG.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, you can come too. I think there's beer.
Really? No way. I love how you use my St. Patrick's picture too.
Yeah, luck of the Irish. What is the this tournament? What does Hendrellis get? Like, what is the is it top 8 move on to the Eaton Center on October 20th, or do we know that?
Tony, did you want to speak to that?
I would if I knew the answer to that.
Well, the only thing that I found out is that the winner of the WCG tournament that just ended was supposed to get hotel, flight paid, and basically an all expense paid to show up for these regionals that are happening at the Eaton Center.
Right.
But the thing is, Henry lives in Toronto.
That's gonna be a short flight.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
The casters were actually talking about it. They're like, I'm not sure if they're just going to give them the money for it, or if they're just going to be like, well, you don't need it. I have no idea. But so I really don't know what he gets, other than the fact that now he gets to participate in the regionals at the Eden Center. But if you're in the Toronto area, make sure you do check it out. There's going to be some huge names in Canadian esports, and I will hope to be there. So maybe even if you see any of us, just give us an E high five or a real one, since we'll be there in real life.
I'm real jelly, bruh.
You're not?
I desperately
The next
want to
one's
go to
being
that.
held in St. John, New Brunswick. Not St. John's. St. John.
Wow, that's not true at all. But thanks for getting my hopes up.
No problem.
I guess it should be noted that it's not only StarCraft 2. I think it's also FIFA
Yeah, it's FIFA 12
and FIFA 12 and StarCraft 2.
and Crossfire. Is that the FPS?
Yep.
Okay. I've actually never heard of Crossfire. Is it like a free-to-play?
Yep, it's one of those free-to-play shooters that's similar to, I guess, Counter-Strike.
Okay.
But I guess it's more similar to Combat Arms. Another free-to-play.
Combat Arms is a Korean. Isn't it like a Korean-based one? Is it made by or by Nexon or something? Anyone know? No idea. Okay.
No, I didn't. I played Combat Arms for a little bit until I think they. Isn't that the game that brought in the nut shot? Do you know what I'm talking about? So like, you know.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
when they
Combat
started
Arms, right?
introducing that, I'm like, nah, I'm done here. I moved on. Then it was trying to reach a crowd that I'm not a part of. So I had nothing against anybody who plays that game. It's just not used to having to shoot someone in the nuts to score points.
It's a good mechanic.
Yep.
Well, on the topic of lands, guys, this one isn't in St. John.
We were talking about Lance.
Well, we were before. Shut up. Oh, we can talk about nuts if you'd like.
On the topic of nuts, we got a
Real-
LAN happening.
Real good role model. I got
Sorry,
all
go on,
night,
John.
Frank. Land coming up in Halifax on October 13th and 14th. This is a big one being put on by the... What are you shaking your finger at, Frank?
No, it's good. I'm glad you're saying this because I totally
Put your finger
totally
down.
forgot that we had to mention this.
Yeah, Dalhousie Esports Society and Frag for... It used to be Frag for Cancer. I believe it's Frag for Charity now. It used to just go towards a cancer charity, but now I think they split it up between a bunch of different charities, or maybe it's all one, I'm not really sure. But this is the 7th one going on in Halifax. So it's Dalhousie Esports Society, same guys that run Barcraft Halifax, which is huge. It's the biggest one in Canada besides Montreal. I always see pictures of them and I'm super jealous because they get like Barcraft girls and a ton of prizes, and it's just like a huge venue and whatnot. So yeah, they're putting this on. It's a 2-day event. I can put up the list of the event. You can check it all out at if you go to fragforcharity.com, leads you to their Facebook page. If you just search Frag for Cancer, you can find the event for the page. If you're going to be on the East Coast on October 13th and 14th, they're playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Super Street Fighter 4, Halo Reach, League of Legends, Counter-Strike Go, and StarCraft 2. And it's running pretty much all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
I think I have the right link. I posted it in the chat if anybody's interested. I don't know if, John, you can just take a gander and see if I did the right thing there. But yeah, that should be the Facebook page, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, sorry, I clicked the link that Nick gave me, which was something completely different.
Was it Tub Girl? It's probably Tub Girl.
Yeah, it
My
was
bad.
not Tough Girl.
My bad. I just pasted the last thing I had.
Which was Tub Girl, right?
But yeah, I'm going to be helping
Just
out.
too much.
I'm going to be helping out at that event, which is weird because I'm going to be running the League of Legends side of things. Which, if anyone who watches the show knows that I'm not the biggest fan of League of Legends. I do play randomly if anyone needs a terrible bottom lane Mundo. I only play Mundo.
What? Bottom lane Mundo?
Yep.
You
that's-
kind of look like Mundo in
that's
real
the-
life, John, because you're a big lumbering guy. If you just give Mundo a terrible haircut, then yeah. Sorry, keep talking. I just didn't mean to insult you.
He's crying
Oh
now.
my good God.
John does as he pleases.
Here comes the ban hammer.
Just give Mundo a quaff, and there it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to be running a bit of the League of Legends side of things. There's going to be a booth and whatnot for the game, maybe giving away some prizes and some swag from Riot as well. The finals are going to be streamed on Sunday. I'm not sure if the rest of the tournament's going to be streamed, but that'll all be on the Frag for Charity Twitch channel. They do it. I think last year they got like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views, and they had some pretty notable names that came in and helped them out. So very, very excited for that. I think they're playing kind of round robins all the way up to the finals on the first day, and then the second day is all finals. And it's a combination of bring your own computer and a supplied computer land, so that's good for everyone. And according to the event thing at 2 p.m., there is pizza. So on Saturday, if you're in the Halifax area,
golly gee, pizza, nice.
And I believe it's $20 for the entire weekend. So that's like the stupidest lowest price going.
That's great.
As well, the guys, I think I mentioned them on stream before, they ran a tournament here in St. John, actually. Ralston Arcade. They're a group of fighting game enthusiasts. I think they're based out of Halifax, but they also have members kind of all over Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, and I think they're expanding as well in Newfoundland right now. You can check them out on twitch.tv/Ralston Arcade, as well on Facebook if you look up Ralston Arcade, RALSTON. They stream pretty much every week. They host a tournament for a game, whether it's like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter or something, and they do some awesome work, and they have some sweet sponsors as well. I went to the live tournament, and it was pretty money. Even though I'm not like a huge fighting game fan, I'm just like a button masher from back in the day, but they put on some good stuff.
I have a friend who's totally into esports, but mostly he enjoys the fighting game aspect. And I was talking to him like, yeah, you should join Esports Canada and stuff. And he's like, no, I only like fighting games. Like, I'm sure there's room for you, but there seems to be this, like, amongst the lay population, people just think, like, there's esports fighting and there's esports everything else. And, like, these fighting people don't talk to these.
Two very different communities.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see that it's not just all, hey, we're all into esports, we're all into making this big. Instead, people are like, no, oh, you like that? That's not esports, that's something else. It's just weird to me.
The only time I've seen fighting games and like RTSs together is MLG.
Yep.
Yeah.
Events.
Yeah. When Husky was playing Mortal Kombat, got owned.
There's also EG actually signs Justin Wong. He's part of their team as well. And apparently Idra enjoys playing Street Fighter with him. So.
Oh. Well, there it is. They shouldn't be as they're not like oil and water as much as people may think. Yeah. That's Frag's 2 cents. It's a new segment where
it's a 7-second. It's a 7-second segment.
7-second 2 cents.
Yeah, it was funny because I was talking to the Ralston Arcade guys. I was like, well, you know, I help out with Esports Canada, but I really only play StarCraft and kind of dabble in other like first-player games and whatnot. And they were like, oh yeah, we're all huge fans of StarCraft. Like, none of us play, but we're huge into like the scene, and we always watch like every tournament and everything. So maybe they get their kicks playing fighting games, and then they like to watch themselves some StarCraft.
I don't know. Actually, I was actually at a tournament at ANC Games where the Canadian second best player in Super Smash Bros. Brawl started playing StarCraft 2.
Wow.
And it was just the most hilarious thing ever. He started playing Terra and he's like, why do I have to build units? Why do I have to attack them? It's insane. It's just like the multitasking was just so much. But like once he got like how to build Marines, that's all he did. He just macroed.
That's all you
Marines.
need, right? It's just Marines and A move.
And he just like destroyed the other guy.
But yeah, totally different skill set for like the different games, right? But both equally as complex. Like I've seen I went to some of those ANC Games tournaments, and some of the players there, they're analyzing, you know, like a fighting game where we can just see as like, oh, he just punched and kicked him, but there's so much depth into it, right? Like.
Oh, they have like the hitboxes.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like
zoning, waiting for the weakness. It's just, I guess it's a very different feel in terms of a sport, you know?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like, I guess, like UFC and whatnot, right?
What was that video, Nick? I forget the name of it, but we talked about it before. That like the most popular fighting Street Fighter match.
Yeah, Justin Wong versus I think it was
Daigo.
Daigo, yeah.
If maybe we should, maybe we'll post it after the break or something, or maybe even show it. I have no idea. But that video is wicked. If you haven't seen like an esports scene for fighting, that video is really, it gives you a lot of hype.
This year's Evo, actually, I watched it, and it was the most like, there was so much energy in that room. Like it almost felt like an MLG tournament, and the view count was like over 1 million. It was insane.
Wow.
Nice.
I've never seen that before for StarCraft 2. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe I'm blind or something, so.
Maybe fighting games have more of a
Why?
culture with the lay player, because like fighting games have been a part of console gaming for the longest time, and then RTS are a little more. They've had their niche, and they're obviously huge now, right? But they haven't been in the mainstream as long. Whereas the fighting game is like, if you're a casual gamer, you know what Street Fighter is. But if you're a casual gamer, you're like, what's StarCraft? That's for nerds. So maybe that's part of the reason why some people would be willing to come in and watch. And it's maybe simpler to understand. You have two people and they're hitting each other physically, so you're like, that guy's foot hit that girl's face. I can understand what's happening.
Yeah.
It could be also. I remember hearing this somewhere. Maybe it was on Live on 3 after Evil. They talked about like the amount of content coming out of the fighting game community, because Evil is considered the biggest fighting game tournament worldwide, right? As opposed to something like StarCraft, where you have GOM TV, you have MOG, you have IPL, so it's all segregated almost.
Yeah.
As opposed to the fighting game community, it's all focused down on Evil, you know?
Right. Yeah.
It's good.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to take a quick break. I think, Tony, are you coming back after the break or no?
I have to work on some LAN party stuff in Oshawa, so.
I also have to do a
Good
poster
catch.
before that. When we come back, I know on the docket we've had HOTS there just sitting hot on the back burner for like 3 weeks now, and Frank has done up all these precious notes, and I don't know how many of them are still useful because they've patched the game and changed so many things, so I feel really bad if we don't get to this 8 pages of HOTS notes that Frank has typed up.
But we'll talk about what we can. I had a great time thinking about, like, we didn't want to talk about fighting games, but we did. I'm glad we did. So
yeah, definitely. Greenlight on Steam. Frank's also going to talk about that, hopefully. You're watching Esports Canada on twitch.tv/EsportsCanadaTV. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/EsportsCanada, and follow us on Twitter at esports_Canada. And all of our hosts have their Twitters either below or above their precious faces. We'll be right back after this short break.
Thanks for joining us, Tony.
No problem.
Sounds on the road, one take. The lights on, no fuss or fights on.
Welcome back, everyone. I have to change it to a 3-person overlay. So while I'm doing that, you can still hear Frank and Nick, I hope.
I turned my microphone on there, yeah.
Fantastic. While I was listening,
like this picture of Nick a lot better.
While I was listening to the break music, I realized that we don't plug Monster Cat Media nearly as much as we should. All of our music is provided by Monster Cat Media. They're a group, a collective of DJs from Ontario, and they are fan-friggin-tastic. They have every single genre of music you could ever imagine, and just like hours upon hours of it. So go to youtube.com/MonsterCatMedia, and you can find all of that there. They have playlists for every sort of genre, and so every week I just kind of pick and choose what we're going to listen to, and every week it is amazing.
I don't actually hear the music that we play. Is it a lot of dubstep, John?
It's
just
everything.
like
Like
dubstep?
tonight, it's drum and bass,
Nice.
but they have a ton of dubstep. They have everything.
Good stuff. So, gentlemen, what is on the docket? Shall we talk about Ritmax, the Russian StarCraft 2 League Season 2? I'm just reading the title. It's such an awkward title. Is it called RS? It's RSL, right? But like, I have to say Ritmax, and I have to say League Season 2 and stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyways, did you guys want to talk about that?
Not especially, only because I didn't see any of it, and it's not so much
You
Canadian
missed out.
related that I can't really fake my way
Well,
through it.
What is Canadian related is that Scarlett, we talked about this before, and
Against Hero.
nothing's changed in that she is still in the winners bracket. They got a bye in the very first round because they were the top winners in their group stage. So she gets to play off against Feast next, Millennium Feast. And I don't know, people say Feast is a beast. We'll see. I haven't seen Feast play much against Zerg. I don't know how he'll be able to play Scarlet, but I have seen him play like against Protoss. He's got wicked micro. He's like a ninja with those blink stalkers. So I don't know, like he's done some amazing things. I think Scarlet's still in a pretty good place, though. She could even possibly face her teammate Nurchio in the next round if they both win. So some interesting stories there. It's basically what I wanted to touch there. It's since Group G, I think, was the last. No, not Group H was the last one to go, and that's what I watched over like last week. And I wanted to mention this insane game. I tuned in. It was I think it was around the 39-minute mark, and it was a game between Acer Bly and Fnatic Alive. And it was insane. It was almost 50 minutes. I think it stopped at like 48 StarCraft minutes. And at the time that I joined at about the 38-minute mark, that's just when Alive was pushing with some Marines and Marauders into Bly's fourth base. It was on Daybreak, so the fourth base was out near the middle of the map, near the Zelnaga Tower. And so that's when I just saw it. Small army against, there was like 20 infestors and a whole bunch of broodlords, and I was like, oh, this is never going to happen. And then it was 10 minutes of non-stop battles. Like, it was literally reinforcement, and they did not stop. It was like an eternal dance of fighting, and it moved all the way up to Acer's third. It came back down to the fourth, and somehow Alive pulled it out. And I didn't know how, because he had the smallest ragtag bunch of Marauders and Marines, but it was beautiful to watch. It was like one of the most epic games I've seen in a long time. So you guys definitely missed out a wicked game.
Where can I find that? But
The odds are. You should look it up though. It was
I'm gonna take a wild stab and just look on YouTube.
It's games like
it
that.
was game
man.
number 1 between Fly and Fnatic Alive. It was so good. And
Yep.
all the games were
It was
really
game
amazing.
1?
Yeah, it was their first game because they played a set like it was best 2 out of 3.
Okay, I don't think it's on here. There is a Fnatic Alive versus Bly, but it's from the group stage. So maybe what you saw was like round of 16
Yeah,
or
it
round
was
of 8?
it was the group stage because they had just finished. Like, this thing's taking forever to complete. It happened on the 28th. That was the group stage. Yeah, there was Bly versus Alive. Lucifron's in that. Actually, Lucifron fell. He lost both his games, which is kind of sad. I was kind of hoping that Lucifron would, because Vortex won first in his round, and I was kind of hoping his brother Lucifron would also come through, but he ended up losing and not making it. But
Alright,
yeah.
well, there is 3 games on here from Bly and Alive, but none of them look to be over 15 minutes. So
well, then that's not it. Or maybe it's just cut in half. I have no idea. But
Possible.
what you can find it, but if anybody in chat might know where they are, where the VODs are for the RSL game, especially the one between Bly and Alive, it was really good. And those last 10 minutes, like, I swear they were the most intense 10 minutes I've seen in a long time. So yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say, because I know there's not much Canadian there other than Scarlett is our hopeful to go through, and I'm pretty stoked about her chances, because she's really proven that she can do some amazing things, coming out first in her group, beating the likes of Hero and who else did she own in her group? Happy and Slivko. So I mean, she's on par. She's only got to win 1, 2, 3, 4 games to win it all. So, or 4 series to win it all. And by the time she gets to the end, she has one up on her opponent from the losers bracket. So, see how it shakes out.
Chances looking good for her, yeah.
There is Tasia still in there, and I know Vertex is always. I would say Tasia, Vertex, and Nurchio would be the biggest threats, in my opinion, on that bracket board.
You just reminded me that GSL is possibly on this week, and I need to look right now and see when that is, because so far GSL has just been like the best StarCraft ever created ever. It's been so good, man. So
GSL
good.
StarCraft is pretty amazing.
Did you guys hear all the not controversy, but kind of like outlash from the community over Hero Leenock? When it was basically Hero was just like dummying Leenock the entire game. Leenock managed to get out a handful of Broodlords, and then Hero got at the mothership, and Hero just like moved in for the kill, got neuraled, vortex like the entire army, and it was over. And it was just like 15 seconds of Leenock being on top was enough for him to win the game. And MC was just like, this is broken. And then the community was just like, this is stupid. Why did this happen? And Artosis on the stream was just like, yeah, Hero should have won that 100%. But I mean, I see that happen pretty much every ZVP that goes longer than half an hour.
For sure, right, yeah. It just goes into that planned state of like steps, right?
That is the late game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at that late game, if Zerg makes that right composition, they're just so. It's all about, like, if you're playing Zerg, it's all about, well, how are you gonna break that ultimate army, especially with all the free units they can make, like everything based on energy. It's so difficult to be cost effective against that, and how quickly they can reinforce. So yeah, that's a difficult thing to deal with. But I mean, in some, I don't think it's broken. It's just you got to try to deal with it before that you get them. Don't let them get to that state, you know? Like, I actually saw when I was watching, oh my gosh, he's so handsome, what's his name? He does analysis.
What?
I can't
Apollo?
believe I
Oh,
can't-
Apollo?
No.
Wolf.
He used
Kaldor.
to play on-
Oh, Axlav.
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 So handsome.
Axlav does look handsome
Grubby.
lately. He's got that rugged beard and that leather jacket. Looks
Oh,
great.
Yeah. So him, I remember watching him on stream, and then like somebody's like, "Oh, what do you do if they get the Broodlords?" And he's like, "You know what? You're not supposed to let them get the Broodlords." He's like, "If you let them get the Broodlords, you're in trouble." He's like, "The way you're gonna win this matchup is if you don't let them get the Broodlords." So yeah, it's that late game. Is
That's
difficult.
such the cop-out answer, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's the answer for like everything in StarCraft. Anytime I'm like, man, what happens if it's Mass Banshee? And it's just like, you're not supposed to let them get to Mass Banshee. And you're just like, damn it! Like, just like no unit is like you're just letting them get to it. You're just like, well, they got to it. The game's over now. Like,
Basically done.
Yeah. Banshee OP.
GSL does resume, not tonight, or it'd be late tomorrow night, early morning Wednesday, is the round of 8 with Rain versus Hero and Symbol versus MVP. Rain is just like unstoppable right now. He's made everyone look real stupid. Both in Code S and in the OSL. And there's like a fairly decent chance that he might just like win the OSL and win GSL this season.
Wow, that would be impressive.
Nice.
And he could just like retire on a fat stack of cash and naked women. I'm really excited for that, and I'm going to watch the poop out of it.
It's great.
Well, good to know. Just don't drop your device while you're on the toilet, because I did that. And look at my phone. Look at it. It's so sad.
Did you really?
Yeah, he broke his phone. It's a sad story. But Nick's life has just been a never-ending spiral of sad stories. So.
Life. Anyways, let's talk about green light.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Yeah, green light, or yeah, let's talk about green light. Yeah. So, everybody who doesn't have Steam, this will be news to you, I think. But green light is something that Steam has tried recently. It's a new little thing that they're giving a shot at. And from my understanding, and you guys correct me if you understand something differently, but before this, if an independent developer came to Steam and said, I want my game to be featured on Steam, they had a group of like 6 guys working at Steam who did all that stuff. So they were the ones who like looked at these games, and they were getting inundated with games. They were getting thousands of games, right? So they were like being overburdened and overtaxed, and there was no way they were going to get to give every game an equitable view and chance. So what they ended up doing is they said, screw it, we have a community of people who are just as capable as us. They know about games, and they're the ones ultimately who are buying the games. So why not just put it up to the Steam community and say, look, these are some independent games that are in design or want to be released on Steam. What do you guys think? Would you buy it? So I think what they've done with the process is actually really cool. Nick, have you actually had a chance to like go through Steam Greenlight at all?
I have had a chance to go through it, and it's really similar to what Kickstarter does, right? It's a it's a form of crowdsourcing. So funding products that people want. Say through a Greenlight, funding, well, not funding, but allowing games to be released that the community wants, and it's a great idea because like this, you cut out the complaints of saying like, oh, we want to play this game, why don't you release this game? And if the game is wanted, then it's going to be there and available for people to buy.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think the major distinguishing point between the two, Kickstarter and Greenlight, is that no money is exchanged on Greenlight at all until the game is released, right? So all you do is you basically give it a thumbs up if you want it, or say no thanks if you don't. When it first started, like quite a few weeks ago when I first started trying it out, they actually had this thing, it was pretty awkward. When you clicked yes that you wanted to Kickstart, or not Kickstart, when you wanted to Greenlight something, it showed a little status bar at the bottom that said how many people think that they want it to be on Steam, and it showed like the total sum of people that needed, but the sum was so high, so like whenever I greenlighted something, it was literally like a dot matrix square of sliver saying that this many people want this game to appear. They need this many more people, and I was like, oh, I feel so bad for these guys, but they took that out now, so you have no idea. You just yes if you want it or no if you don't, and you move on. And if they get through, great. If you say no, sometimes you feel bad because like the videos are sometimes heartfelt. Like the developers that shows them like sleeping on the floor, and they're like, we divorced our wives for this game, and like I had to sacrifice my child in order to get all this stuff, and then they're like, please accept. And then sometimes like have to say no thanks, I don't like this genre.
Have you ever watched you ever watched the documentary Indie Game, the movie?
I want to watch it. Is it already out?
I believe so, yeah.
I want to watch
it. Very heartfelt.
Right? It's quite good. It follows the guys who made Super Meat Boy, which is an amazing game. Braid, which is even more better, slash amazing, slash English good at. And what is the third game? Fez.
That one. Yep.
Fez is the one that I haven't played. But that's actually made by a Canadian, a guy out of Montreal. And basically the story just follows kind of the three of them, from the people who got successful from making a game, who are just about to launch a game, and the guy who's trying to finish his game. So it's really good. Check out Indie Game, the movie, for some
I do want to watch it. Nick, if you have it, I'll come over to your house. I'll watch it.
You better bring some food.
I always do. And last thing I want to mention about Greenlight is that what they've done on the user end, I think, is really smart. When you go in there, first of all, just like in Reddit, you can choose your subreddits. So you can go there and say, these are the genres that I'm interested in. So like if you don't like fighting games, you're not going to see fighting games. If you don't like racing, you're not going to see racing. You choose the genres that you want to see to try to greenlight those games. And they don't give you too many. They give you every day, maybe they drop maybe 15 on you and say, check out these 15 games if you like them or not. So you go through your list, you watch the videos, you watch the promos, you listen to what the developers have to say, and then you're like, yes or no. And then after 15, they don't give you another 15. So you're never overtaxed. They literally put a limit on it so that you're not flooded and feel like it's a job. So Steam's done some really smart things with the process. They've made it like at the user's end, at the end user view, it's actually really pleasant, and I don't feel like I'm working for Steam, and yet I'm doing them a great service.
At the same time, too, I mean, you're finding out about all these cool games, and you're kind of having a part in helping some developer.
I gotta say, indie games are just, they're just so creative at times, right? A lot of the bigger companies are falling into this repeated formula of games. Like, I'm not going to talk about that a lot because there's so much argument about it. But it's nice getting a breath of fresh air with these indie games.
Yeah, the creator of Braid, Jonathan, I can't remember his last name. He does a really good interview where he talks about. I can't remember if it was a video interview or an interview in a magazine or something. But he talked about kind of how all of these games where the reward is just kind of a next level of a game, or like grinding out in WoW, it's you get items so that you can defeat the bigger bosses to get more items, and there's no like real, you're not really getting anything emotional out of it. And so with Braid, he said that like the goal was to get something out of it on a mental level instead of just grinding it out to get to more in-game perks.
Yeah.
You had a video for Interstellar Marines, which was...
So maybe with the last 5 minutes or so of the show, we'll save HOTS for another week because that's not interesting.
It's going to be released by the time.
Is this going to turn into Matt Damon on Jimmy Kimmel? Is that going to be our? Is that what HOTS is?
I feel like even now people have watched it so long that everything I say, because like I went through this yesterday to prune it, and I still had notes like, oh my god, the Warhound's missiles, their Haywire missiles, don't proc the Immortal Shield. That's so imba. Like I had those notes. I'm like, wow, Warhound's not even in the game anymore. So, I mean, maybe I'll take another look at this and make it a little more concise. But whatever, it's not a big deal. I do want to talk about Interstellar Marines. I saw this on Greenlight, and I was actually impressed. Now, the game looks pretty beautiful. So if you want to show the video, go ahead.
I'm doing that now.
Great. So the game looks good. So that's one thing. For an indie game, I thought it looked really beautiful. But what I want to talk about is the way they're releasing the game is interesting. I think it's a new direction for indie games. Maybe it's not so new, but from my perspective, it felt like something interesting. The way they're doing it is they're releasing it in these like segmented builds. So they released this first thing where you got a little ammo, like you got to aim at targets and stuff just to get a feel for the weapons. And they released this other thing where they're called the Running Man, where you're running away from the AI, and the AI are just like these robot, like they look like crash test dummies and stuff. So like they're releasing these little bits to tantalize the audience, and they're really trying to get the audience, the fans, into it with these catchphrases like we're all in this together and believe. So really making you feel like you're fighting for something. You're fighting against the big corporations trying to release this indie game, and really making you feel for the small company that's making it. So I think it's a really smart way to release the game. Like it caught my attention, and they're really like pushing this immersive feel to it, and like cooperative play, and like join us, we're trying to do something amazing. So Nick, did you get a chance to see the trailer?
I did see the trailer. It looks really exciting. I don't know much. The trailer didn't really tell me much about the game itself, though.
I know.
I got
it might
some
be by
idea.
design.
Yeah.
They might try to keep you guessing, right?
It looks like
that
there's
shark tiger
shark
thing.
Yeah.
What the
That caught
hell
my
is that?
attention. Shark
Yeah.
tigers? What?
It airs on a bit of the side of goofy though for me.
Yeah.
Hats off to them though for trying for an FPS in this market where
You know.
like console gaming is just dominated by Call of Duty and Halo and Gears of War, and just like every major title on Xbox and PS3 seems to be an FPS.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why it caught my attention. Like why is it standing out? Why is it so impressive to me? So I don't know. Maybe we should do a little segment, games that we think are good on Greenlight. Well, John, you don't have Steam, right? Because you're not into esports. But maybe in the future, if I see another game,
I do have Steam. Shut your mouth. Yeah, guys, we're definitely going to be moving into a more structured environment. I guess this is a good lead-in to say that we are going to officially launch our website as well as this show. I mean, the show has been live, and obviously we publicize and whatnot, but it's not like officially launched where it's our kind of flagship for Esports Canada. So we're going to have a combination launch of our website and this stream, and so we're going to kind of restructure the show into more segments, 10 minutes covering certain aspects of esports, and maybe half hour for guests sometimes, and bringing on different people. Like we had Tony tonight, Lucas, who does casting now for us for League of Legends as well as Dota 2, has us some really good connections with some pro guys for those, so we're definitely going to have more content for that as well. So you're going to see some new things and new segments, and maybe Greenlight will be one of those.
I'm really excited for next week, guys, so make sure you tune in. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth. I don't know if it's going to fall through, but I'm really excited about something we have planned for next week. Big news in esports, I'm sure. Just trying to throw that out there.
I'm messaging Frank right now because I have no idea what he's talking about,
yeah,
and
you
I'm
guys
really
don't even know,
excited.
man. It's all
You don't
hush
even.
hush.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah,
even. He's typing it to me now. Tell me.
You guys better be here next week, or you won't find out either.
We'll have to find out. Can't miss it.
Guys, I know Sticky Flames does have their tournament tonight. I'm not sure if the stream is going. I know that Luca, the guy who runs the show, just got a new computer, and he's been trying to set that up and whatever, as well as working at the same time. But you can still sign up for the tournament. I think there's still a minute or 2 minutes left. Zeke.com, Z33K.com/StickyFlames. Tonight is the bronze, silver, gold, so sign up for that. And then, of course, Wednesday and Thursday are their upper league tournaments, so sign up for those as well. What's to come from us this week, guys, for Esports Canada? There's no major tournaments going on or lands that we have on the go. Frank, are you going to be streaming more Esports Daddy?
Esports Dad.
I love doing it because, like, when I'm watching my child, I have all this time. So in a game like Faster Than Light, I can stream pretty easily. So if you guys like it, make sure you leave comments or something, or maybe even message me on Twitter. Let me know if there's a different game you'd like to play. My internet's not the greatest. I can't stream the best games, but I mean, I had a lot of fun. I've almost got Faster Than Light 100%. So, like, if you guys want to see what all the ships look like and how a really good gamer dad plays it, then come watch. But maybe if I can stream Nexus, the Jupiter Incident, because I think that's the next game on my docket. But I don't know, if you guys are into those kind of games, I'll try to stream whenever there's downtime on our channel.
Fantastic. Nick, what do you have coming up this week? Anything esports related?
I've been playing a lot of Torchlight too, but I don't know. Some Borderlands too. Just been playing some games, experiencing some of the games that I haven't played before.
All right. Well, it sounds like you're coming down with a cold that might stretch right into next week.
I want to know.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you to Lancelot, Tony Tran, who does our production on some of our shows. He was our guest earlier talking about the Untouchables, so thank you to him. I have no idea who we have next week or if we have a guest, but hopefully, because we got a couple people lined up throughout October.
Can I tell you guys? Getting it all lined up.
Oh, as well.
There's actually lots of people waiting.
NASL leaked a picture, not leaked, but leaked a picture on Twitter of a board that said possible locations for NASL Season 4, and they were all joke places. It was like the Himalayas and like Dubai and just like places that obviously wouldn't get the NASL since they're not in NA. But the only two real ones were Canada and LA.
What do you mean by Canada? Like, where was the pin? Canada's a big place.
No, it was a board. It didn't have a map. It was a board that just said names of
just
places.
Names?
Yeah.
Canada and where?
LA.
It's gonna be Canada. It's gonna be Canada.
I don't know. LA is pretty specific.
Yeah.
Well, LA, and I think they had Kansas City on there as well, but it's also like they're not going to.
No, we said serious ones.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I tweeted to Barbie, who's works for NASL, and I said, guys, like, are you coming back to Canada? I need to know. Please do it. And she just tweeted back, whistling. So I don't know if that means they're coming back. They're coming back and going to Whistler. Who knows? Tune in next week, and hopefully we'll have some more information. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and look for the website launch in the coming weeks. I think it's mid-October, but don't hold me to anything, as well as our show being launched. And you can watch the show on our website once it's launched. So
exciting stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you for watching, and episode 7 next week, same time, 8 Eastern, at twitch.tv/esportscanada TV.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.